Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at? It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy Carhartt cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs in football, on football even. We are here for about half hour tonight, just going to fly through as much football talk as we can. But you'll have to excuse me because I'm very, very tired. I'm very, very hyped, full on caffeine. I'm very, very excited because in 24 hours' time, I will be chatting to the new Wales manager, Mr. Craig Bellamy. In Cardiff tomorrow evening. It's going to be a good time. The full Ace Podcast Nation team out in their glory, including my co-host, as always, ex-FC United, Salford City, Bangor City, Aberystwyth Town, Mosley, among others. It is golfer extraordinaire, Super Six champ. Although he's had a bad day on the golf course today, so he might be grumpy. Mr. Rhodri Giggs is in the house. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, not today. Golfer was played like Stevie Wonder today. Not good.
So you see that then? I was getting ready for my introductions, just warming up the introductions there, just getting them right.
What, you breeze buffer?
Yeah, that's it, mate. You got it, haven't you? It's looking forward to tomorrow, mate. Even you're down, so you know it's going to be a good one. Everyone's out. Everyone's down. It's going to be a cracking night. Very
chilling in Splott.
In Splott. No, it's wicked. It's such a strange place, mate. Splott Cons Club, because from the outside, it just looks like it's a house that's been turned into a pub, or like a pub or a house that used to be a pub, and then you go inside and you go up into the function room, and it is just massive and it's beautiful. Nice. And it's it's a lovely place. I really enjoyed doing the Joe Ledley one there, and obviously can't wait till tomorrow night for the new Welsh manager in the house. It's going to be a good time had by all. Sold out.
This is his first interview from getting the Wales job, isn't it? Or basically, not interview, but apart
from the announcement, basically like the press conference he did. I think he did one sort of 5-10 minute one with like BBC Wales and stuff like that. But it's his first official engagement, his first in-depth interview, talk, podcast, whatever you want to say, mate. So,
that'd be good.
I'm not naive. I know it's a massive opportunity for me. I'm very grateful for it. But it's something which I've worked incredibly hard for as well. So I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to have a good time doing it, mate. It's going to be, I'm really excited. Like, that's all I can say is I'm very excited. Looking forward to seeing people as well. Like, the tickets sold out in less than 24 hours. And, I always, the one thing I'm very grateful for is that the people who watch this podcast and the channel and the Cardiff channel, like, as soon as we put on events or whatever, or we're doing something, they always back us. They always support us. So, so good in the hood, my friend. So, there's not loads going on in the football world, mate, because obviously it's pre-season and teams are going this and they're doing that. But the Olympics did kick off yesterday, mate, and it was wild. It got to be said, absolutely wild. Morocco beat Argentina, but it wasn't so much the result that was the shocking bit. The game was suspended for 2 hours. So effectively, from what I gather and what I've seen, there was a goal which was like clearly kind of offside, but for whatever reason, because was he interfering in play type thing, they took ages. The fans invaded the pitch. The game was suspended for 2 hours, and the crowd were eventually told to leave the stadium. And then eventually they ruled the goal out for offside. Play resumed, and the final minutes were concluded, and Morocco won. But it was a bit mad to watch, just to see the craziness of it all at a big event like the Olympics as well.
Yeah, to be honest, I've heard about it. The lads talk about the golf today, but I've not really seen it. But it's young players as well, won't it? So
it's got to be difficult for them, isn't it, to have a game suspended for 2 hours, like a big game as well.
Oh yeah, especially when the build up, you wait in, and then you kick off, and then you've done your warm up, and it's not ideal. Not ideal at all. But
Have you ever played in a game which has been like temporarily
both teams? So no excuses really. Same for both teams.
Have you ever played in a game which has been like temporarily suspended? Like
yes, mate. Played in Northwest Counties and Unibond going up. But when you beat the team and the old club light goes off, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
So and you're waiting about 2 or 3 minutes, then it's 10, 15 minutes. And it's usually somewhere like Rosendale or Mosley a trick at it, or Clitheroe, or somewhere it's freezing. Not Clitheroe, but somewhere where it'd be freezing. So yeah, it's not ideal. But yeah, it's happened, but not 2 hours. 2 hours.
What's the hardest part of it? Just keep them warm and that.
Yeah, it's not ideal at all.
Yeah, it's got, and like you say, they're all like 23 and under. No, they're all young players, and I know we haven't really particularly as Welshmen, we probably didn't get in particularly into the Great Britain Olympic football side and stuff, but the South American countries and African countries, they love the Olympics and they take it all very, very seriously. So it would have been a big event for those Morocco players playing Argentina, opening game at a tournament.
Mate, and it doesn't matter who you're playing for. If you're representing your country, then you're going to take it serious no matter what it is.
A few other bits and pieces from the Olympics. Japan thrashed Paraguay 5-0, which is quite a mad one.
Yeah, you're going to see some mad scores because they're playing like under 23, so you will see some scores that are like, whoa. But
it's weird, isn't it? You'd expect Argentina to be one of the better teams.
Nacho, he's would have been playing there, but he's in the first. A lot of these young players are playing. Probably the better ones are probably in the squad first, which has just been the Copa America. So yes, they don't. The better players don't really want to start going Olympics now. The season starts in
no. Yeah, it's a weird time, isn't it? It's right bang after the Euros, and then obviously the season and pre-season. I bet the clubs weren't happy. I thought Garnacho was playing in the Olympics at one point. I'm sure he was called up for it, but I'd assume he's not now. And a couple of other results. Spain beat Uzbekistan. New Zealand beat Guinea. Iraq beat Ukraine 2-1. That's a big result. They got some players, though, mind Iraq, some young, they got some good young players.
You'll see that the up and coming of Arab nations probably in about 5 to 10 years because they are getting better.
Yeah, and I think obviously the Saudi League will play a massive part in that, won't it? Because as much as they sign, they're going to try and sign, your Mo Salahs and your Ronaldos.
You still have local.
You'll have local talent, and then they'll probably pick up young players from around Europe and other countries.
I don't really watch I don't think I've ever watched a football game in the Olympics.
I think I watched. I must have watched.
Talk about it today. there's only certain
Yeah.
sports that I watch. You know,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
like the taekwondo, obviously the beach volleyball. Can't miss that.
Mhm.
But yeah, the athletics, obviously, when I was a
Yeah.
kid. But nothing much. The rowing, but that's boring. Not boring, but the
I know what you mean.
cycling is good because you're always up amongst the medals. So, but
I've got to be honest, I think the only
I like
time
all sports. To be honest, when something's on and it's competitive, I'll watch
Yeah.
it. But if it's not, then yeah, it doesn't grab me. To be honest, but if it's
Yeah.
competitive, I'll watch any sport. But
I
mostly it's athletics.
I think the only time I watched the Olympic football, and I don't even think I watched it all, like I watched like maybe the first game or something, was when Wales joined the Great British. Then they put a Great British side in it, and you had like Ramsey and that played, didn't they? But I think even
Yeah,
that
kid
I only
played in
watched
it.
like the
Our kid
first
played
game.
in it 2012.
He did he?
Yeah, he played in it. Who was manager? Stuart Pearce.
They didn't do very well though, did they? Considering
No.
the team they had.
Well, they had a good team. Micah Richards, Sturridge. They had a decent side. Some
Yeah, I was
good
going to say,
players.
Aaron Ramsey played, didn't he? Did Bale play?
I'm not sure, but I don't. Bale didn't know.
2012 was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they should. I'm going off memory, and we all know my memory's not great. But you'd think they would have done a bit better than they did if we're going off memory. I don't think they didn't medal or anything, did they?
No.
Let's have a look at what the squad was. But, there you are. Craig Bellamy, did he play? Sure, I just saw his name coming up. So we had in the Olympic squads, the squad contains 3 players over 23, with Ryan Giggs, Craig Bellamy, joined by English midfielder, defender Micah Richards. So there you are, straight away. Something to talk to Craig Bellamy about tomorrow is the Olympics, because that's what everyone's going to want to listen to, isn't it?
Well, it's relevant because the Olympics is Friday. It starts tomorrow. The open ceremony tomorrow. So yeah, it's relevant, isn't it?
Wales captain
and what kind of experience was it like? Obviously not. You're representing Wales, but you're not. You're representing Great Britain.
Must have been.
Yeah,
it's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, different because obviously when you're wearing the Welsh dragon, it may be different to when you're wearing. Oh, I don't know. Was it? I don't know. It's something you could ask.
And I think as well, like, do you know what? I said that joking, like I'm going to ask about that. But actually, I think it is quite an interesting insight into it, isn't it? Because like you say, like he's a proud Welshman, fiercely proud Welshman. So how different was it, like, to go and play?
Yeah, was it like the English team? Was they all like fragmented, or was they all come together as a team? Was it behind the scenes, or was they like little groups, or did they all, do things together as a team, or was it a proper team, or was it fragmented, or that's why probably didn't do well? I don't know.
God, they had a bit of a squad, mind. Daniel Sturridge, Joe Allen, Tom Cleverley, Craig Dawson, Stephen Colker, former Cardiff City defender, Danny Rose, Ryan Bertrand, Neil Taylor, Jack Butland. Yeah, they had a proper, like a squad which should have done better than what it did, I think. Yeah. It's probably fair to say. But do you buy into the whole sort of, the reason they don't do it is because the Welsh FA kind of feel that FIFA will try and kind of group them all together on a national stage, and
it's just not. If you go back in history, it's not really great British football team. It's just not.
I don't think we've entered it. Was that the first time we'd ever entered it?
It's the first and only time, or maybe done it twice. But yeah, should do it really, but it's not historically. Never been a Great Britain football team, has there? In my memory.
Yeah, so just looking at an article which was out earlier this week, and basically it was on inews.co.uk, and it says Great Britain has not sent a football squad to this Paris Olympics due to fears harboured by the Scottish, Welsh and Northern Ireland FA that playing as a single entity under the Great British flag could cause future ability to compete independently at tournaments from FIFA. So basically, they don't want to...
Yeah, normal stuff. Politics gets in the way of sport and fucks it up.
Yeah. And look, I'm not like the most sort of like Union Jack flying British person. I'm not quite as like independent Wales type, hate the British flag
Listen,
as
it
some
doesn't
people
matter
are.
if they've got the Great Britain flag, they've got the Great Britain shirt on. I'm cheering for them. They're the
Yeah,
first person I'm
100%,
cheering for if they're in athletics or whatever sport. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if they're Irish, English. I'm cheering for them.
Yeah,
But
I agree, mate.
yeah, it doesn't. I'm not a Union flag waving yet.
Yeah,
at all.
same here. And yeah, and I mean, I've tried, and like I said to you the other day, mate, in the Euros, I never normally support England, but my son's got into the military, and he asked me if I'd try and get behind him and watch him, and I found it hard. I'm Welsh, but I said I would try, and I was watching him in the early games.
I find it a lot easier because I'm here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to ask you, do you find it a bit easier
yeah,
to
you've
sort
got
of
friends
mates
that when we've watched tournaments and you're with friends and England score, you cheer because your mates are happy. You just get to go along with it. Do you really want them to win?
No,
Yeah,
really,
but
bothered,
yeah, you do really want them to win. But if they get beat, you're not asked really. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, it's like a no lose thing, and just get to rip up this out.
Do you really want England to win? Not really, but if they win, then yeah, okay. If
you're kind of happy for you.
Yeah,
and then you laugh when they fail.
My son's English. He's part Welsh, but he's obviously English. All my kids have been brought up, but they're basically English. So yeah, I'm not that bitter, to be honest.
So it's an interesting story then, mate. First story of the day, which we'd like to discuss. Former Hull City boss, Liam Rosenior, highly rated young manager. I thought he did a decent enough job at Hull, and I thought he was a bit unfortunate to lose his job. But he's quite highly rated, plays attacking football, has replaced Patrick Vieira at Strasbourg, supposedly by mutual consent. But I mean, effectively, they've got rid of Patrick Vieira for Rosenior. Are you a little bit surprised by that? Like, for me, Vieira, I thought was doing a real good job at Palace, and I thought if they'd given him time, I thought he would have got it right and got on to do quite well. But equally, the manager they've got there now is doing a great job, so you can't criticise it too much. But are you surprised by that, though? I don't think Vieira's been there that long.
No, I'm not surprised because I think Liam Rosenior is a really, really good coach. So you're just going off, Liam Rosenior as a name and Vieira as a name. It's chalk and cheese, but this is coaching. And Liam Rosenior's done very, very well. Gets sacked when he's like 6th or 7th in the league. With a whole City side. So no, I'm not surprised at all. He might be one of them guys that interviews really, really well as well. His dad was a decent manager. Done a good job at Derby. If we look at it now, who was the brains behind that? Was it Rooney or was it Liam Rosenior?
Yeah, possibly, mate. Possibly.
But I'm not. To answer your question, no, I'm not surprised because I think Liam Rosenior is going to be a really good coach and will get a big job back in the Premier League.
Interesting, that is interesting. And
so there's one to watch. So in 2 or 3 years, when he gets a Premier League job, he said that 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. I will play the clip back, mate. In fairness, I think we've been crying out. Like I think me and you have probably had the conversation a couple of times over the last 3 or 4 years. Like we want to see these young managers breaking through and getting the big jobs and getting the Premier League jobs. Where they're, as much as I laugh, look, I take the mick out of Lampard and Gerrard and their managerial records or abilities or whatever. But look, ultimately, I'd rather see them in the Premier League doing well than the same old managers going around and around getting the same jobs. And I think we are slowly starting to move away from that. Like a few years ago, it just felt like this conveyor belt of the same people.
There's not many about. There's not many good ones about now. Pochettino was hot property like 3 years ago. Now he's had like three jobs in the space of 3 years.
On Pochettino, mate, do you think it was weird that Chelsea got rid of him after one season? Like, take out the fact that it's Chelsea.
You can't really judge it with Chelsea, mate. It's Chelsea. It's weird what's going on there. Spent £1 billion in a year.
I'm half expecting Todd Bowley to be the new manager, mate, at some point. It's just like, I'll do it myself.
So you're telling me this manager's a better manager than Pochettino, core coach? Why? Because he's been with Pep for a bit. Yes, difficult one. But
I would love to be.
But this guy gets over the line. Pochettino doesn't. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Tough job, though. Tough job.
Would love to be a fly on the wall in some of those Todd Bowley meetings over the last couple of years.
Tough job. City are still there. Arsenal will still be there. Liverpool, jury's out. United look like they're getting better with the signings, even though they're still a million miles away. But they're getting better. So, third, fourth.
You mentioned
Newcastle,
United. I just want to put a quick hypothetical to you.
Newcastle.
Okay?
Tottenham will get better. I think because I like that their manager is very positive thinking, and I think they'll get better. They get decent players, and some of them stay healthy. The better players, Maddison, Son, even Richarlison. You keep him fit, he'll get 15, 20 goals a season, even though he's annoying as fuck.
Let me ask you a hypothetical. You mentioned United. Let me ask you a hypothetical then. You've been linked heavily. Looks, I would imagine you're going to sign that Ugarte midfielder from Paris, and you're probably going to sign De Ligt. You've also been linked with Ivan Toney. So what I want to put to you, if United were to sign those three players...
Which name again? I got Toney last one.
Ivan Toney, Ugarte from Paris, the midfielder, and De Ligt, the defender from Bayern. If they were to sign those three and then get rid of the Sanchos and some of the other sort of fringe players, where would you guess the United would finish in the league this year? I know there's loads of other things that come into it, but just off the signings, if they were to come off on top of what you've already done, where would you expect?
Third and fourth would be more than happy.
You don't think that would be enough to challenge for a little while?
Mate,
I'm asking a question.
No, I'm being. I know what you're saying, but I'm a realistic Man United fan. You're gonna win it. Yeah,
gonna win everything.
City are very, very good, even though they're on. Say the decline. They're just not as good as they were.
Yeah.
Kyle Walker's a bit older. De Bruyne is a bit older. Key players, who are getting older. Arsenal will still be there. Very good team. And if they strengthen, they get a striker. But
let me put another caveat to it.
At third and fourth. Tony would be the one. Well, I'll say that. Ugarte as well. He'd be all three
exactly
of them. This is where we need to be going now. Competition. Healthy competition. So your hardest game is your practice game with a team, your teammates. Not the one on a Saturday. That's how you get better. When you go into training, it's hard, but you get better from it. That's why the great United sides in the past, because all the squad players could do a job when given the opportunity. Some of these haven't done it, so they've been there for years. So let's get them out slowly but surely, which he has. Sancho bringing him back was a clever move. Bring him back in the fold. Yeah, I'll bring him back. Blah, 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 blah. He's going. He's going. Yeah.
I think
he's back to Sancho again. You've got to be able to take risks and have some bollocks. Take people on. Doesn't happen, right? Try it again. Keep trying. It's like a mental block. Gets there and goes, I'm going to pass back sideways. And he didn't do that with Dortmund. He just does it with United. It's strange. But, that's shit. Sometimes it affects people differently. You might think I'm talking bollocks, but I think I know what I'm talking about when we're about the wingers. So we'll see what happens. But he's going. I reckon he's gone.
Yeah, I think he goes to Paris, actually, mate. I think
40, 50 million. Nice one.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, mate, if they do a little direct swap between him and Ugarte.
Take that. Even give him 10 mil. Just get him out the door. Bosh. 350 grand a week. Taking the piss.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, mate, isn't it? A lot of money. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting what happens with these charges with Man City as well, because, if they get a shed load of points deducted or even relegated, that league is just suddenly, woof, it's open for everyone. And then your Man United, your Liverpools, your Newcastles, your Spurs, they have to be looking at it going, this is our chance to win a league. You have to.
You got to ask me that question at December. I'll see where we are. See how we've started, how we're playing, and see how we are. We're talking about two very, very good teams, Arsenal and City.
Oh, of course not.
So
but my point
I'm not
being
gonna
is, if
get
you take City out of it,
overexcited, we're on the right track. These players are coming in, are very good players and young, hungry players. De Ligt, even though he's been about, he's only 24.
It's mad, that, isn't it?
Martinez, this Euro, very good. All three of them. You've obviously got Luke Shaw coming back in. Dalot's improved a lot. Looks like Wan-Bissaka's on his way out. Sancho goes. Rashford, yeah, we'll see. I think he deserves another year, but
who's that?
I think Marcus Rashford. He deserves another year, but
do you know what
the ice is thin. It's thin.
Do you know what the thing for me with
like last year.
The thing which irritates me a little bit with the Rashford thing, right, is I have seen a few clips flying around and videos of him in pre-season, and he looks super happy, he looks super motivated, and he looks in great shape. And all the clips I keep seeing him with, he's like laughing and joking with Sancho, and I'm like, surely, and it is hypothetical, of course, but surely all that sulking and the body language last year was not because his mate threw his toys out the pram. Surely that wasn't the reason. And then I look at that and I think, well, if that was the reason, and they know that's the reason, I could understand them moving him on for just being, whatever. But it's like it's hypothetical. On his best day, mate, he is a Manchester United player, a Manchester United winger, forward, whatever.
No, Amrabat might come back. He was looking good at the end of the season. He looked very good in the final against City. He needs games in. Once he gets games, he's match fit. He's a beast.
If your defensive midfield options was
Mason Mount, need more from him. What's he going to do? Joey's out on him still because he's done nothing.
Diallo looks like he's going to step up, take that right hand side.
I like the look of him. He's tricky.
But
and you can play him, and when he comes off the bench, he looks lively as well. So
yeah. I think Casemiro will probably move. I think, and then if you end
to be honest, in pre-season, he's looked very good. What the games I've seen of him, he's looked very good. He looks on it.
And here's a question, mate: would he look better, and would he get more out of him if you've got Ugarte, so Casemiro doesn't have to play every game? Do you suddenly get the best out of him if he's playing once a week? Do you know what I mean?
All right, so he's playing once a week. Are you dropping?
Well, I'm just saying if they played
no. I'm asking you a question. You're saying okay, yeah. So who are you dropping?
Well,
you got Ugarte, Casemiro, and Bruno Fernandes. You're leaving Kobe Mainoo out.
No, I would drop. You'd have to drop Ugarte, wouldn't you, to rotate it? I mean, to give Casemiro, because they're like for like. Ugarte is top quality defensive midfielder, which is what you need. The only way I see Amrabat and Ugarte going in is if they get rid of Casemiro, and then Amrabat and Ugarte are your kind of defensive midfield options. Two very good options, but it'd be interesting with Casemiro because I still think he's got a lot to offer if he's motivated. But I don't think it was a lack of motivation.
He's looked good in pre-season, to me, what I've seen.
But then I don't think it was a lack of motivation last year. I think it was
There's players around him as well.
His body couldn't do what he used to do. United were far more open.
You just got to have people. You just got to have people around him and protect him. But then that, you shouldn't do really after winning 5 Champions League medals. But he's getting slower. People target him.
Yeah,
that first game against Wolves. Oh my God, that Kuno.
Yeah.
Tore him.
I remember you saying in the show we done. He just giving you a heart attack every time they got the ball.
But that's what I'd do if I was on it. I'm just going to knock the ball, bash him, mate. See you in a bit.
Yeah, and teams
because he's slow off the mark. Once he gets going, it's his get off.
Well, that's why
he gives away so many fouls, bad fouls, because his get off is slow. It's like he's carrying a race car horse cart.
Well, and then what teams were doing is they were putting their number 10. If they had like a pacey number 10, they were putting him on Casemiro, and they would get the ball, and he'd be out of position, or they'd get it.
There's loads of ways you can do it. You can have your wide man just tuck in just a touch, and just
have him running at him,
and they were targeting him. So it's not having the full back four who you'd want in there. Maguire and Lindelof or whoever who was playing there, Johnny Evans. they're not the quickest, them three.
No.
So yeah.
Another interesting one. Italian defender Riccardo Calafieri is having a medical with Arsenal, moving from Bologna. He's 22 years old, Italy international. He's a good player, him, and I think that's a really clever signing from Arteta, because I do think with Arsenal, their first choice defence is really good. They've got that one, what's his name? I think he's a Japan international who plays like centre back or right back for him. He's pretty good. But then after those, they haven't got the same quality. So if they had, like when they had that injury the season before last to Gabriel, they can't not Gabriel, Saliba, they kind of fell off a cliff, didn't they? So they need a bit of depth in there, and I think it's quite an intelligent little signing. He's young, good pedigree. The Italians are notoriously good defensively as well. Teams are starting to move now. You mentioned Liverpool, mate. They got a few aging players coming to the end of their contract.
When the season starts. Sorry to interrupt, mate. It's going to get proper busy once the season starts, because there's players coming back, players still on holiday. So it's going to get proper busy at the end of this one because of the late comebacks and people getting pre-season up to speed, coming to the end of the transfer window. Who do we need? Who do we not need? Who do we need to get out to get the money in? So there's going to be a lot of movement on this window, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so, mate. It's a lot of late movement as well, isn't it? The kind of question for you, I suppose. Liverpool got a few aging players coming to the end of their contract. New manager. Do you think they may struggle a little bit this year, or is it all down to just how the manager settles, if the players take to him, if they can kind of build on what they've done previously?
I think they'll really struggle this year.
I'm surprised they haven't brought anyone in yet, mate. I've got to be honest.
Well,
Normally,
let's go back and look at it, mate. Let's go back and look at history. Arsene Wenger, when he left, didn't do great. Alex Ferguson, when he left, didn't do great. Now Klopp's left. I see the same. He's under pressure. There's players there. I know Virgil van Dijk. So personally, I know this. He's only been offered a year, and he wanted 2. So he might be off because he'll run his end of his contract out. So that's a big miss. Salah, if he doesn't play him, I just see problems there.
Yeah, I can see it taking a bit of time.
I might be totally wrong, but it's a big shoes to fill. Jurgen Klopp was a big character, very, very good coach, even though it took him 3 or 4 years to get where he wanted to be. But after when he did, they were a very, very good team. If it wasn't for a Pep and a Manchester City with all the billions and 114 or 15 charges, whatever it was. Let's throw that in. So I think they'll struggle. Be difficult. They need their big players to turn up. Darwin Núñez, they need to not miss 5 chances before he scores when he needs to be hitting 1 out of 2. So because he gets a lot of chances, you just need to put them away. Now, their big players need to turn up. But
like history tells us, mate, new manager comes in, at least one of those players, like those big players. Huh?
You belly away.
I got a bite, but I just do my nut in. The history tells us that one of those big players, whether it's Salah, Van Dijk, Darwin Núñez, McAllister, one of them won't take to the new manager. It's just human nature that one of them won't take to the new manager, whether it's his training methods or the way he speaks. It's always the same, mate, at every club.
And these Dutch people are arrogant and stubborn, So
Well, they're very straight
they
talking, aren't they?
Yeah, they don't. They don't mince the words. So I
He
see.
rubs people up the
I
wrong
see.
way.
What's the song? I see trouble. Yeah. So I may be wrong,
I think
but
you're just hoping there's trouble ahead.
no, it's just normal. I'm just looking after big
Yes.
characters. Leave
Yes.
big clubs. It's a big turnaround. It's a different way of playing. Some players like, it's better the other way.
I'll tell you
It's
what
just
then.
normal.
Here's
It's
a
just
question.
human nature. It's normal. But there's a massive character just gone. Big coach who run the whole club from top to bottom. Just
So
watch out for it. That's all I'm gonna say.
here's a question for you then. Nice to finish us off. There's well over 520 odd people watching at the moment. So get involved in the conversation on Twitter and YouTube. But this is the question that we'll finish off with. Would Liverpool be better selling Salah now and moving on from him and that kind of era and trying to build a new side around different younger talent? He's only got a year left, I think. If I might be wrong on that, but
He's got a
generally
year left
speaking,
or two.
I'm not sure. But my point is, I guess he nearly left for Saudi, didn't he? Not long ago. Do you think he is getting older? I know he's still getting the results, but would you,
Mate, you don't get rid of
would you
Mo
move
Salah.
on
You don't
from
get
him?
rid of it.
No?
No, not yet. No.
Okay. Just a question.
I wouldn't anyway. He'd be like my best mate. It's a goal scoring machine. Put him in positions, he score goals. Don't let flipping upset him. So he'd be my best mate.
Is there any of their senior players who you would move on if you were the new manager to try and build something different?
Well, yeah,
Whether it's Van Dijk
I'd
or...
either sort Virgil van Dijk out or get rid, because you're still going to get a lot of money for him. Only for a year left, but if he's going to run his contract out, then
Yeah, I think you'd get a bit of money for him, wouldn't you? Would you not?
yeah, you expect so, but I don't know why they don't give him a 2-year or whatever he wants. But yeah, so they must know more than me. But yeah, they lost him, they'd be definitely screwed. So
Yeah, they haven't got that depth in the defensive areas, have they? Really? They got that
No.
one. What's the young one
No.
who played for England in the summer?
he's decent, him though.
Yeah, quite like Concert, is it?
Yeah, he's
like
decent. He's decent because if you look
And
at
obviously
it,
got Trent and
he's done well last year. I like the look of him.
and we never is it a French centre back who got torn apart in the United game? You think
That's going to happen to young players, mate. That will happen. That happened to Euro. These young defenders doing very, very well. They're going to get shown up every now and again. But
Yeah,
that's
new
how you
league
learn.
as well.
That's how you learn. That's how you get better. That's not going to happen again to yourself. And the Premier League players, mate, 18, 19, 20, I think they're doing all right. So just got to keep that positive thinking.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, mate. Obviously, we haven't got loads and loads to talk about this evening. Massive thank you to everyone who's tuned in and all that sort of stuff. We'll be back next Thursday, probably some more transfers, Olympics to talk about and whatnot. But if you're going to the Craig Bellamy event in Cardiff tomorrow night, I will see you there.
Who have you got for tomorrow? The fighting UFC.
Should do some UFC predictions before we finish. You just disconnected your mic or something, by the way, when you slammed your hand on the table, because it's all buzzing. Check the connection. Right, let's go through these UFC fights.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, that's better. So we got Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. Oh, that's a fight and a half, that is, mate. I am Belal Muhammad is top quality fighter, but I'm going to go with Leon Edwards. He's a very cool character in the host. Like, it's going to be a banging atmosphere. I just got a feeling Leon will pull it out. So I'm going to go Leon Edwards. Tom Aspinall, definitely always going to go for him because he's an absolute machine. Not necessarily. Starting off, Leon Edwards, Tom Aspinall will win. Paddy will win. I think Christian Leroy. Your mic's gone off.
What?
Your mic's gone off. think you've just disconnected it. Arnold Allen, he'll win. Oban Elliott definitely will win. Jake Hadley definitely winning. A lot of the British guys I fancy, mate.
Not staying up and watching, are you?
No, God, no. I'll watch it all on Sunday morning, mate.
If it's some sights coming out of that co-op arena like 5 in the morning.
They'd be rough in
All over
Manchester.
the gap, pulling out, thinking, another moment, has it?
It's going to be like 6 in the morning, absolutely hammered. All been watching fighting all night. Could be mayhem, mate. Yeah, I'll just watch it in the morning, mate. Sunday's going to be my recovery day. I got obviously got tomorrow. Got a very busy day. Had a very busy week, in fairness. And then Saturday morning we got our first pre-season friendly with my boys' team. And then Saturday afternoon, I think I'll end up sleeping, to be quite frank. So happy days. Right, nice one, mates. As always, a pleasure. In a bit.